What would you do if the girl renting your extra room stopped acting human almost immediately? Today's story is about someone who says that they got a new roommate and then started hearing something through her door at night. I rented out the extra room in my apartment a couple years ago because I needed help with rent. The girl who moved in seemed normal enough at first. She was quiet, polite, young, barely had any stuff. And she said she worked weird hours and mostly kept to herself, which honestly sounded ideal to me. The first thing I noticed was that she never ate. Not once. No groceries or takeout containers, no dishes in the sink, nothing ever missing from the fridge. Every time I offered her food, she'd just smile a little and say she already ate. At first, I figured she was eating out or at work. And then the night started. Her room was at the end of the hallway, and after maybe 4 or 5 days of her living there, I started hearing whispering through her door after midnight. Not talking on the phone or a normal conversation. Fast whispering, really fast, low and creepy and nonstop, like she was trying to keep up with something speaking back to her. And the worst part was that sometimes it didn't sound like one voice. It sounded like one voice answering another, but both of them were coming from inside her room. One night I stopped outside her door just to listen, and the whispering stopped immediately. And then from inside, in this weird, amused voice, she said, "Are you spying on me? I don't like that." I swear to you, I had not made a sound, and after that I started getting scared in my own hallway. I'd hear her moving around at night when she should have been sleeping. Bare footsteps, and her door opening and closing, and then that whispering again. And every morning she looked perfectly normal. Same quiet girl, and the same blank little answers, like none of it was happening. And then one night I got up around 2 in the morning to use the bathroom and saw her standing in the hallway, completely still and barefoot, facing my bedroom. And her mouth was hanging open. Not wide or screaming, just open enough that something about it looked deeply wrong in the dark. I froze, and then I said her name. She didn't move for a second, and then she said without closing her mouth, "I thought you were still asleep." I locked my bedroom door after that. The next day I told myself I was overreacting, that maybe she sleepwalked, maybe she had some mental health thing going on, or maybe I should have just kept asking her to move out instead of getting myself worked up. And that night I passed her room and noticed the door was cracked open, so I looked in. She was kneeling beside her bed facing the wall. Not praying or doing anything I could understand, just kneeling there perfectly still in the dark with her head slightly bowed toward the wall like she was waiting for it to answer her. I backed away before she could turn around, and the next morning, while she was gone, I went into her room, and there was almost nothing in it. It was literally just a duffel bag, a few clothes, no real toiletries or food, no charger plugged in, and the bed barely looked slept in at all. And on the floor beside the mattress were pages and pages covered in my name, over and over, in different handwriting. And that night I didn't sleep. I just sat in bed with the lamp on staring at my door. And then sometime after 3 I heard the whispering again. Only this time it wasn't coming from her room. It was coming from inside mine. I looked up, and she was standing in my doorway listening.